Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pride Podcast, episode 384 on the blue. We're in Organic Tyler. Joined by my co host, as always, Mr. Malcolm Hart. Malcolm, how are we feeling, brother? how are we feeling, brother?
I'm not doing too good right now, man. I'm not doing too good right now, man. I'm not doing too good right now.
That just sucked, man. That's just. It's hard to put into words. It's just like absolute shock right now. I'm just shocked. I'm like not comprehending like the season's over right now, and like that's just how it ended right now. Like that's actually the last game of this season, and it doesn't seem real.
This has to be the worst day of Detroit sports.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
This has to be. It has to be. It has to be. What's worse than this?
yeah. I mean, like outside of like losing a championship game, it doesn't really get worse than this.
And before we start, I want to bring up that comment. This has nothing to do with AG.
It finally came a factor today. It looked like of
What was you supposed to do?
no, not saying his fault. I'm just saying all the shit it's caught up. It just finally caught up to them.
Yeah.
All the injuries, all the guys they lost. I mean, we did it for too long, and it got even worse today. And it eventually caught up. Like even today, he lost to Meek Robinson in that first drive. I mean, he was very, very crucial to this whole season and this whole run. And obviously a big reason why they won that Week 18 game to be in the position that they are in right now. But yeah, it caught up to them, and they had no answers. They had no answers at all defensively, and then I mean, offensively, dude, like I don't even know where to start with that. It's like, man, those
I do.
turnovers
I
were
do.
killer.
The turnovers. The
Yeah,
turnovers. I mean, that's like how you start with it. The turnovers.
yeah.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the situation right now? With
It just sucks, man. Like you drop a stinker in the playoffs. It's like you damn near played a whole clean season, and to play your worst game, arguably, in the playoffs, man. That's rough, dude. Like everything went so well this year. Like you accomplished so many things this year that you have never done as a franchise, and like what is it to show now? Like we won 15 games to show for nothing. I mean, zero playoff wins, and you're done. You're out, and that's ultimately what this season shows. As much fun as we had throughout the whole ride, there is zero. I mean, I don't want to say zero, but there's not many results to it. I mean, it's just done. You walked away with zero playoff wins, and
yeah, 100%. This is failed season, man.
100%.
Failed season, man. And this goes back. This goes back to last year, man. When we had that conversation when we were in the NFC Championship game,
I was thinking about
and
that one today.
I was just saying, man, we can't take opportunities like this for granted. We're a game away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're not guaranteed to be there next year. You don't know what can happen. Injuries can happen, which we've
Yep.
seen.
Yeah.
Things cannot go. It might not go your way. You might throw to have turnovers. We've seen in this game. But I mean, this is just to show you, man, that you can't take those opportunities for granted once you're there. Like last year, we're in the NFC Championship. Everybody was like, hey, we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. Guys, it's NFL. There's some teams that don't even make it to those championship games at all. It's hard, man. And look, this year we just didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought of that conversation at some point during the game. I think it was when the Commanders got that touchdown that went up 17 points, and it just kind of felt like it was over at that point. I thought about that conversations, man. It's like, dude, you can never take these opportunities for granted. It's just like, yes, you have the squad, you have the window to do it, but I think Brady said it best on the broadcast. Like, every window closes after the season. Like, yes, you could build off something, but ultimately, it's not the same team next year. Like, we don't know what the team's gonna look like next year. There's gonna be a lot of change next year, and that's just the reality of the NFL. There's always a lot of change throughout season to season, and you know, you just who knows? Who knows what it's gonna look like next year? But yeah, no, I thought about that conversation. Of when we got to the NFC Championship game, we had that big lead versus the 49ers, and we were 30 minutes away from stamping our ticket to playing in Vegas in the Super Bowl last year. And Dan said it himself last year, like, you just never know, man. And frankly, you might never get to that game again. It's not to say I don't think they can ever get to that game again. You just never know. And this year was a prime example of that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you got to take your hat off to the team that won, man. The Commanders, they they shocked the hell out of everybody, man. This is one of the bigger upsets. I mean, Commanders fans called it. They said that, hey, this team is a lot tougher than you guys are giving them, and they just out physical us, man. Like, they were more physical this whole game. This is why I had that talk with you about this buy. I hate that. I hate this buy. I hate the buy, because you lose like momentum, and those teams that went on the road, like the Commanders did, they come in hot, they come in with confidence high, and look what they did. Now they put in another upset. This team might cruise their way to. They might go. I wouldn't be shocked if if they go to Super Bowl, just because they're riding on momentum right now, and beating the number one team. Now they may face whoever they face next to the Eagles or the Rams. I wouldn't be shocked, man. They're hot right now.
Yeah,
Those are
I
the
mean,
teams that usually get there.
they're playing with house money right now. Like, they're just a team that had zero expectation. I mean, they were literally picking freaking two last year, and now they're in the NFC Championship and have an opportunity to play for an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, which is just it's absolutely unreal, man. So yeah, I do give credit to them, man. They are a team that turned it around really quickly. But even like Commanders fans, it's kind of like the Lions a little bit last year, a little different, but where you are here now, it's like, don't take it for granted though. It's like, you just never know. Like, you have an opportunity right now if you're the Commanders. Like, go
Yeah.
soak it up and go do something right now. But back to the Lions side of this all, it's just like, man. So, I mean, is that where we're going with this? Do you think this pins it more on the offense or the defense, or just like where's the main pin on this game? I guess.
I mean, I think there weren't. I mean, everything went wrong today, and a lot of
Yeah.
it you could put the blame on Jared Goff's shoulders. Say it's his fault. He the one that is throwing the ball. He had the fumble. He had the 3 interceptions. This was just a really bad game, really bad game, man. And you're playing a team that came in there with confidence, had nothing to lose. Hey, they lose this game. Guess what? We played the number one team. We played our ass off. They're the better team. That's it. They have nothing. They're playing with nothing to lose, really. So they just out physical us, man. They're the more physical team. They played with grit. They look like the Lions of last year. They played with
Yeah.
grit. They're a team that wanted it more, and they won.
Yeah. It's man. It's actually unbelievable, dude. Just because, like, dude, there were so many opportunities. It even felt like at halftime, like, it felt kind of a blessing to only be down 10 points with how everything played out. It felt like the lead should have been way bigger because of the way the Commanders were just out physically us, like you said. And, they were having those long drives, 8-minute drives, and just punching in touchdowns. Like, man, those are dreading to not only the defense, to the offense, too. I mean, you're getting cold on the sidelines. You're not playing, and yeah, those are the dreading drives, and the Commanders did a very, very good job of that. But even with all of that, man, it still feels like such a missed opportunity because you had so many opportunities to still come back in this game and do something. And every time you were like on the verge of doing that, it's just something idiotic happened, a bad turnover. Um, Ben Johnson throwing with Jamison Williams. Like, what are we doing here, man? It's just like a lot of nonsense today, man. It's
That's
just
not even on, that wasn't even on Ben Johnson. That was Jameson Williams' fault, man.
he should have ate the ball. He should have just ran it
Yeah,
or throw it away, whatever.
he's not a quarterback. I mean, he's a young kid. He's gonna try to make a play. I mean, that was just the wrong person to put the ball in their hands at the wrong time. They should have did it with fucking St. Brown. St. Brown would have threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
I think J-Mo just not there mentally to say, okay, if it's not there, throw it away. Jameson Williams, the ball there was nothing there, but he was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna just throw it there anyways.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, even the way the first quarter played out, I was still not concerned. I didn't. The one I think where I start to finally be like, oh shit, this might actually happen. Where we might not win this game, was I think it was the pick six.
The pick six.
I think the pick six is where I'm like, oh, like this is this
That's
is
when
this,
they
is
say the
this is not safe anymore. I don't feel confident anymore.
Yo, this is a bad. I mean, let's talk about the quarterback, man. Our quarterback. How do you feel about Jared Goff and the whole thing of Goff going forward?
I mean, going forward, like he's still your quarterback. Obviously, this is still our guy. But I mean, there's not really much to defend today. He was bad. He was really bad, and this is a game you need him to step up in. And you know, people put this narrative on him back in LA. You know, he can't win the big games. You know, he'll give you some good regular season games, but he can't win the big game. And this is the first one I could really pinpoint in his Lions career where I could say this is on Goff. Not all of it, obviously, but he was part of the problem. He was part of the problem.
He was a big part of the problem.
Like last year, I didn't think he was part of the problem. I think everything else around him was part of the problem. You know, we don't have to get into all the details in that game, but Josh Reynolds dropping the ball, Gibbs and Phil Dor, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't think he was part of the problem last year, but I think, you know, when we discuss for the next 8 months until next September, like we're gonna remember this game, and yeah, like you said, he was a big problem in this game. But I mean, going forward, I don't think it should change the confidence level as far as the fan base or, you know, the front office, and if Goff is still the guy or not. I think they still have full trust in him, and I think they should still have full trust in him. Honestly, I know it was a bad game, and it's gonna be a recency bias, but you know, I think at the end of the day, it's still our guy, and he should be.
All right, but where's your confidence as far as him taking us to win a championship? Is it the same, or do you feel a little different? The same?
No, same. I think he could still do it. I think he could still do it. What about you? Does it change for you at all?
No, it hasn't changed. I mean, he had an awful game. Yeah, it's tough.
I think
it's tough because he had a really bad game, but you know, we watch Goff go through these streaks where he's not turning the ball over and he's playing really good football. But then there's like when he's playing bad football, he's playing really bad football. And it's tough. Like that the one game where he threw the 5 interceptions, you know, that really gets really bad. In this game, same shit. Just another tough loss, man.
Hi, man. Speaking on the other side, that quarterback, Jaden Daniels, bright future, man. Right.
Hey, I mean, the only positive I got from this game is thank God the Bears didn't draft him. We have to play this guy twice a year. Thank God he's on the Commanders drafted him. He's on the Commanders. We probably have to play him once a year or in the playoffs, whenever we have to see him. But thank God the Bears didn't do it. You know,
the Bears would mess him up somehow.
I mean, I don't know, man. That kid he has ice in his veins, man. I mean, you see why the Commander fan base is behind this kid, and why the confidence is running high because they have that quarterback and shit. He can make nothing out of something.
Yeah, and we saw that a bunch of times. It felt like sometimes we were about to get off the field. And man, I thought we were aggressive, dude. Dan Quinn's just as aggressive, if not more. You know, the
funny shit about this is because they like Dan Quinn and they like Jaden Daniels. They'll never talk negative about it. as
Yeah.
far as him going for it on fourth down. Dan Campbell, he goes for it. They're like, oh, this guy's reckless. This guy's out of control. But when he does, when Dan Quinn does it, it's okay. I just
You
think
know,
that's kind of
the percentages actually they go for more than us, which was actually I thought was crazy because I just thought we led the league by crazy of going on fourth down, but percentage wise, they have a higher percentage of going for it.
I think what it is, I think we go for it more. I think we have made more attempts. I think they have a
Yeah,
higher percentage of
yeah. It was
converting. They have more,
one or the other. They might have
yeah.
more attempts or more. I think we have more attempts. They have
We
a
have
higher
more
percentage.
attempts. They have a higher percentage of converting those
Yeah,
fourth downs.
something like that. I saw that.
Sometimes, I mean, you just gotta do it. I mean, that style is working for them, and it might lead them to the Super Bowl.
I mean,
Just by
dude,
running with that style.
today at least, I mean, their fourth down decisions killed us. Every time where we could have stopped them to 3 and keep it like a 2-possession game, I mean, it's a completely different ball game. But them going for it and biting us on the ass and picking them up, they were some big stops. And man, I know we were kind of still dead at this point, but there was still somewhat of a chance that 12 men on the field on a
I was
4th
gonna ask you.
and 2.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Come on, man.
Who do you put on? Who blame? Who do you blame on this one?
I mean, the coach staff has to fire a timeout. I mean, you clearly see there's 12 guys on the field. You got to call timeout. And I know you don't want to burn one, but this is the season at this point. You're giving them a free first down. All they have to do is snap the ball. And this wasn't like it was just like, the guy was running off the field. No, this was like everyone's on the field right now. Like they're ready to play defense. And it was clearly 12 guys. And, Brady's saying from the freaking booth, it's like he called out for 10 seconds beforehand. Like you have to, as a staff, call a timeout there. I know you don't want to burn one, but you have to. This is the season right here. It's 4th and 2. You get this stop. It's still a 2-score game. And there's still like 8 minutes left. Then you have, at that point, you'd have 2 timeouts left because you would have burned on that hypothetical. But there's still plenty of game left at that point. You get that stop. It's not to say you win this game, but you don't know what happens at that point. And I felt like the season was over after that, after the 12-man penalty.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought the game was over after maybe like the 3rd turnover. I think that's when I was like, oh, this ain't going too well.
Yeah. Well,
man.
it's just like with even all that, like there was still opportunities to still come back. Yes, it felt dead. It felt like it was done, but like and paper, and you look at like the scenario, it's like you kind of take off the fan goggles a little bit. Just look at it as a perspective. It's like it's not over. 2-score game with 8+ minutes left, 2 timeouts. Like it's not a game over by any means. It's not likely, but it's not game over by any means.
No, it's not. But then, I mean, the way I was looking at it, I was in reality with who we had on the other side of the field playing defense.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was in reality of that, and then I was like, all right, we're not stopping this kid.
Yeah.
He's making all the right throws. We're throwing blitzes at him. He's finding the right check down.
Right.
The right guy that's open. I was in reality that all right. We're not able to generate a patch with just our front four. We have to blitz, so when we blitz, he just finds open guy.
Yeah.
It came down to we needed a turnover. We needed a turnover or stop, a 3-and-out, something like that. But I just wasn't confident with the guys we had out there that we were going to be able to do that.
Only time where it felt like the wave was turning in our direction in the right way was the start of that second half. You get a stop, you force them to a punt finally, and then you go out there and get a touchdown. It's like, okay, this is a 3-point game now. Like, plenty of clock left. But then the Commanders just respond. 8-minute drive, dreading the absolute clock out, and they get a touchdown. It's like, fuck, bro. Fuck. Just like, man, just get off the field. Even hold them to 3, something, dude. Because if you hold them to 3, it's only a 6-point game, man. But 8-minute dreading drive, let them get a touchdown. That's tough, man. That's tough, and that's just the reality of it. Because there was a point in the game where it felt like it was kind of swinging in our direction, but then it went right back to Washington's direction after that drive.
Yeah, I mean, this is disappointing, man. To give up to allow 45 points at home in Detroit, where everything is going your way. Hell, even the ref was on our side in this game. I can't even bullshit. I mean, they gave us a face mask. I mean, a face mask that wasn't been there. I mean, everything was was going against the Commanders going into this game, but they came
Yeah.
out, they wanted more, and they won, man.
Yeah.
I just
That was
and to point things out, man. I know everybody was like, "Oh, you're talking all this shit before the game, blah 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 blah." The Commanders are a good team. I said they're a good team. I said they're a 12-win team for a reason. You know, they had a really good story, and I just thought that this was the first place team, and I think that's what everybody thought. This is the first place team, and they just thought that we were ready, and maybe the Commanders were a few pieces away. And not saying nothing, not taking away nothing from the Commanders, but they just played harder than us, and that's the reason why they won this game.
yeah. No, I mean you're right, dude. The Commanders did not have anything going in their way because like we get the punt, and then it looks like they get a stop, right? But then they call some, crazy face mask that didn't happen, and it keeps the drive alive, and we get a touchdown. It feels like this should be all Detroit's favor at this point. This is supposed to be Detroit's game at this point.
Yeah.
But then they have a killer drive offensively, man. And you know what makes me more sick? It's that I'm not gonna cuss. It's that fricker Cliff Kingsbury, who we've talked so much smack about in the past. He's their OC too, man. And I just seeing his face makes me want to punch. I hate him. Can't stand him.
He had a great game plan, man.
He had a great game plan.
He
And
had
I
a great
hate
game
credit
plan.
again. I hate credit
again.
I hate Cliff Kingsbury.
He won the duel against AG, which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought AG would outdo him and outcoached him, but that didn't happen.
When we lost to Meek, man, it just dude, it felt like it was too much on defense, and it wasn't. Vilder was even bad. He actually made a play today, which was good, but it just felt like losing a Meek was big, man, and it felt like the defense. I know it's early, it just felt like it lost so much momentum because he's kind of been that heart and soul. I feel like the last couple of weeks, especially towards the end of the year, and the way that he closed that season out, Week 18 versus the Vikings, and how he played really well versus Justin Jefferson, who was arguably the best receiver in the league. It kind of felt like he was the heart of this defense. And to lose him on that first drive, it just kind of felt like, damn, bro, we're doing this already. Like this early in the game, and we're losing one of our big guys like that. That hurt, man. That Meek injury did hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that would have made that much of a difference. I don't know.
I'm not saying that's why we lost the game, obviously, but I think it had an impact on the guys.
Yeah, it impact on the defense. Who knows? He may would have done a better job in coverage. Maybe Terry would have had that big of a game if he was on him. I don't know. I can't.
I think it switches your philosophy as a defense too. When you have a Meek, I think you can go more comfortably in that full-on man coverage like they've been doing, especially in that Vikings game. I feel like once, a Meek went out, they had to adjust a little bit and they had to go a little more zone. It was still probably a heavy man when we go back and look at it, but I think they had to adjust a little bit once a Meek went down that early in the game and they had to throw in Vildor in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was been the same result. We had no answer for Eckler.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels still would have found his way. I think he would have found his way eventually. Yeah. I think the only thing that we could say that would have made a difference in this game if we were able to generate pressure with our front four.
Yeah, we got nothing from that. We got nothing from that front four at all.
No, we didn't, and it sucks. It sucks. Dude, we were there, man. I feel like this was our year, man. Yeah. But then again, I feel like last year was our year. But
I mean, if we're looking big picture, more positive, at least I know you don't know how it looks, but for the most part, this is a lot of the same squad coming into next year. We don't know what the coaching staff is going to look like, but at least as far as personnel, these guys are all pretty much locked up. I think I was looking at a list. The only big crucial free agents when you really look at this list for the Lions, Carlton Davis, Marcus Davenport, and Kevin Zeitler. And none of those guys even played today. But my point is, those were the only three really big free agents when you look at this Lions team. Everyone else is still under contract and is going to be on this team next year, which is good. So you still have a cohesive team that obviously has good chemistry, and we'll see what happens. But for the most part, it looks like he could be running back with the personnel at least. Coach staff, we don't know what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, stuff.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else to add on this game, or should we just get into the oopsie doopsie and ball of the week?
I guess we could just do that, man.
All right. Let's start off with we got some Dan Campbell quotes. I could read these off really quickly before we get into that. So Dan Campbell. At the end of the day, I didn't have them ready. Yeah, didn't play good enough. Yeah, I mean, if there's some more interesting one, I'll let you guys know. But that's pretty much the one I saw so far, saying that he didn't have his guys prepared, I guess, or he didn't have them ready to roll for today.
I mean, that's the whole fucking shit. The reason why I hate to buy, man. This is why I hate to buy, man.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can blame the buy. It wasn't like we got up to a completely. I mean, the 3-and-out was bad, but
yeah,
like,
we did. We did go off to a bad start.
We got the 3-and-out, but after that, they kind of. I mean, they rebounded really well after they got a touchdown right away after. Like it was going back and forth, right? Offensively, at least. Just, I mean, defensively, they had no answer at all ever. And then the turnovers were killer. And once Goff fumbled, is like where they kind of took over a little bit in the red zone because
that was the turning point of the game.
Because we had
that was the turning point. That was the turning point of the game.
Yeah, that was the big swing. All right, oopsie doopsie of the week.
Give it to him.
Did you think?
Give it to him.
Yeah,
give it to him.
I mean, I think quarterbacks, they say it all the time. They get the most credit when your team's doing well, and they get the most hate when your team's doing bad. And I think in today's context, I think it makes the most sense. We needed our quarterback to step up and make some plays, and for the most part, didn't do that today and had some very costly turnovers. So I hate to do it, but the oopsie doopsie of the week in a playoff game, it's going to go to quarterback Jared Goff.
Yep, no complaints. He definitely deserves it. Definitely deserves it.
No, you have the tough job.
No, I don't, because I'm not doing 3 game balls. Fuck that. That's not happening. 3 people don't deserve it.
Okay.
There's only one guy that deserves it. He's number 26. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the only guy that deserves it.
Can we talk about that a little bit more? Like,
yeah, go ahead, man.
I know we talked about it week 18 and we talked about the workload.
Yep.
I'm happy Monty's back. I'm glad the injury wasn't as serious as they initially diagnosed this. But that guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, is different, dude. And when you're in a playoff game and in a playoff run, I think you lean on him, man. And Monty just, like, he's coming off a pretty bad injury. He obviously didn't look like the same today that, like, we've seen from him this season. I was a little frustrated with the workload of how they were balancing the backs. Like, this is more of a game, honestly, maybe just in general how far we would have gone in the playoffs. I would have liked to see a lot more Gibbs, because when they had Gibbs on that field, it's a completely different style of offense, and it's a lot more explosive. And I understand you want to, give him some breaks. You don't want to kill him, but, like, this is the playoffs, man. This is do or die. You lose, you're done. And that's obviously what happened today. Like, I lean on Jahmyr Gibbs. He is the heart and soul of this offense.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, he only had 14 carries. That's wild, because it felt like he had a little bit more, because he was running all over the damn field. I mean, he had 105 yards.
Yeah.
They should have upped his carries, lowered Goff's attempts. The whole game plan was just off, man. It was just fucked.
So Dan Campbell.
Go ahead. What did Dan Campbell say?
He blamed himself for the 12 man. He said, "That's on me. I have to call the timeout there." And he confirmed to Meek Robinson broke his arm and is going under surgery tomorrow. So he would have been done for the playoffs regardless, even if we did win today.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's that. Yeah. This game, I mean, just looking at the the numbers is is fucked. I mean, they shouldn't have had this game plan was bad.
Yeah.
I don't like this game plan that they had.
I'm assuming you're talking about the balance between the running backs.
The running backs, passing attempts. I mean, you're playing against a 30th ranked defense. Like, just run this damn ball with Jahmyr Gibbs and keep them off, keep the Commanders off the field. I mean, that should have been their game plan. And then you could have sprinkled in Golf, but to have Golf throw the ball 40 times, I mean, I know we're down early, but Jahmyr Gibbs should not have 14 attempts.
Yeah. And it might have been the way the game was going, the score, but yeah. And starting the game with Monty was a little annoying too. It's just like with how good Gibbs has been this year. It's like, man, you start the ball at the offense. Like, why don't you throw out Gibbs out there at least at some point during the first drive? He should be the starter, like originally, in my opinion. And I think you mix in Monty in different ways. Like, I don't know, man. The way that Gibbs was on, he was on a different tear right now this last month since Monty went down, and just I felt like they misutilized him today in this game.
They did. They should have used Gibbs the same way the Philadelphia Eagles used Saquon Barkley. The same way the 49ers utilize Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's that type of back. He's a special back. And when you limit him, you get limited results. You only have 14 carries. Now, 14 carries for 104 yards. What would happen if you had 20 carries?
Yeah. Yeah, he made use of those 14 carries.
He definitely made use of them, man. But and I see that they utilize him more in the passing game as well. He had 11 targets, 70 yards. But still, man, I mean, they should have ran him more. They should have ran him more and kept, Jalen Daniels off the field because he's the guy that we couldn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, what the Commanders did to us, well, we are usually the team. It just kind of felt like everything reversed today. Like the stuff that we usually do, the Commanders did to us today.
They beat us at our own game. That's exactly they came. It went to Ford Field and beat us in our own game. At our own game.
Everything, like it's from the actual game itself, hearing their fans chant in our stadium at the end of the game, like everything. It felt like everything that we did this year to other teams, they did to us today. It was like. It was reversed. It was karma, something that they got. Like it wasn't like that we had anything against personally the Commanders, but they did what we've done all year, which is just crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not even mad at them, man. Not even mad at them. Not even one bit. They deserve it.
You can't.
They deserve it. I'm happy for them. This is their first NFC. This is about to be their first NFC championship game in the last what they said 30 years.
I think it was that game versus us in 92.
I think of the game versus us in 92. Shit.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted to play Detroit. Those fuckers.
They showed that score, man. They smoked us. It was like 42, 41, 10 or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, like I said, I have no grudge against them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they deserved it. They have a really young quarterback. God, we don't have to play him twice a year.
All right. Shit. As we close out the pod, what's the final words of the 2024 Detroit Lions?
It's a failed season, man. Just a failure. It was a failed season. I don't know how else to put it. You can't look at the season, think of it as a success. We came out this year, 15 wins, 0 playoff wins. Say that again. We came out with the season right now with 15 regular season wins and 0 playoff wins. It's a failed season. Well, what else? There's nothing to say here.
I agree. I'm on the same boat with you. I mean, yeah. I mean, ultimately, like we looked at the season, it was Super Bowl or bust, anyways, and we'd even really get close to that goal, honestly. I mean, we're not even playing in the NFC Championship right now. We're not playing in a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely, it is a failed season.
You know what? I think we needed this, man.
In what way?
I think we needed this. I think
We're
we just
getting,
got to do.
getting too cocky.
We got too cocky. We did. Me and you before the game were talking about NFC Championship games and
I know.
talking about when am I gonna when should we go to Ford Field? Should we go to Ford Field?
I know we're making plans. Yeah.
Like we're making plans already. We're already looking past this team already, which we should have done. We should have done it. You should take it one at a time, one game at a time. We got too cocky. It is what it is.
Yep. All right. I think that's it. I don't think you got nothing else, right, to add on this?
No, man. I have nothing else. Do you know where we drafting? We'll pick we officially have?
Fuck. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, that's some important information right now. I mean, shit, there's nothing else we have.
Next episode, mock drafts.
Mock drafts.
Fuck, bro.
But no, all seriousness, do you know like what number we are right now? Do you know?
Well, it depends what happens tomorrow. Between the Rams and Eagles game and the Bills and Ravens game. We're gonna get the highest pick, so like lowest pick, worst pick, I should say, out of the teams that lose tomorrow. So like, let's say, I'm just gonna throw a hypothetical. Let's say the Philly and Baltimore loses tomorrow. Like Philly and Baltimore would be ahead of us in the draft order, and then we'd be right behind them. So, and then all the teams still left in the playoffs, will be we'll have a better pick than them. So we'll have a better pick than the Commanders, Chiefs, and then whoever wins tomorrow between those two games. So we don't have an exact number right now, though. No.
This is heartbreaking. Have you heard from Pierre?
Let's see. Is he texting our group chat?
No, man. I'm trying to get a proof of life.
No. Yeah, man. Man, you guys are unreal, dude. 378 people in here right now, even after this heartbreak. If I was you guys, I would be listening to a Lions postgame show right now. So I do appreciate you guys all being in here and listening to us and relate to us. I guess you could say. I hope at least we can relate to you. Maybe there's some Commanders fans here just trolling.
Fuck this. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on here, man. Half of this shit is Commanders fans coming on here to see our misery. That's all.
They're here for heartbreak.
Yeah, that's all it is. Shit. And the fucked up shit is I do the same shit, so I can't even hate on them. Whenever a team loses, and like for example the Vikings, I'll go straight to their Twitter page. I do it on purpose just to see how the fans feel, and it is what it is. I'm not throwing any shade. I mean, I understand you guys.
Regardless, I'm going to take it as a positive and say a lot of you guys are Lions fans in here. I'm hoping at least. I mean,
look. Check us out. We just have a Philly fan in here. Shout out to Philly Sports for being in here. Shout out to Philly Sports for being here. But yeah, they're here to see how fucked up we are right now. Making sure that we're not on suicide watch.
The live numbers are a little higher than usual. Usually we're on like that 200-ish number.
Extra 100 people.
We're damn near almost 400 right now. So yeah, you might be onto something. This might be a lot of just haters in here. I don't know.
It is what it is, man. Like I said, I do the same shit, so I can't say nothing. Can't say nothing.
All right. Well, okay. I've said bye 10 times now. Let's actually get out of here. I hope you guys all enjoyed.
Yep.
I don't know really what the future holds at this point as far as our next episode. We'll figure that out. Season's over. So hey, you know what they always say? There's always next year.
Don't say that, man. Come on.
I actually despise when people say it to me. So I don't know why I said it because I hate it. I hate that term so much.
All right, man. Get ready for a whole months of what happened to your loins.
I'm already getting text, dude. This shit's annoying, bro. All right.
Yep, it is what it is. All right, man.
Hope you guys all enjoyed. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Come on, guys. Peace.
All right, y'all. It's your boy Malcolm, and I am out. Peace.